Hey guys, how's it going? This is going to be the unboxing for the EasySMX M05 mobile gaming controller. So as you see right here, this is the box for the mobile gaming controller for Android and the iPhone 15 because it's a USB-C cable. Of course, they got pass-through charging, D-pad, full function joysticks, Hall effect triggers, you know the jizz, with 2 programmable buttons. So reason why I want to review this controller is because not only does this controller support actually support the USB-C port, but apparently you can also do Bluetooth connection, which is pretty cool. So you got a controller that could do Bluetooth and the USB-C connections, according to the website on AliExpress. So I was like, you know what? Let's give this a try. I'm sorry, not AliExpress. This is actually, I saw this on Amazon, but I also did saw this controller on AliExpress as well. So yeah, nothing else in the box. Take that to the side. Wait, if I can pop it out. There we go. And here you got the controller, and got some weight to it. Joysticks are a decent size. I'm not sure if I like the rubber this concave. It's a little bit of a concave, so it does have a little bit of grip, but the feeling of like these like little texture curve, it does feel grippy, but it does kind of feel like it will wear down over time. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this. It feels good, but maybe because it's like really hot right now, it's like 90 degrees in Maryland. Maybe my hands are a little sweaty, you know, palms are sweaty. I don't eat spaghetti. Terrible rapper, but anyway, yeah, joysticks feel fine. I do like the roll of it though. It does roll very nice. D-pad, basic membrane D-pad. Yeah, I'll say the D-pad's cool. It looks like you might be able to pull off that for some people who love to do like the lean directional down or up and then lean left and right. You actually might be able to get away with that. I'll have to test out on the input tester. ABXY, basic membrane buttons. They feel nice. They're not as big as regular controller buttons, but they're big enough to where you can see them and they're pretty defined. So start select, nice. Guest capture button, FN button for whatever function you want to try to program. Looks like it has a pass-through charging, 15 watt. So it was a 15 volt pass-through charging. So we'll see, because usually I don't like pass-through charging while playing phone games because your phone gets really hot while doing pass-through charging, and sometimes, depending on the game you're playing, you're not even charging your phone. So you get 2 programmable buttons right here, which is pretty cool. Oh, they feel nice. They just sit comfortable in the hands, and raising this out, and oh, well, look at that. F and turbo key for 2 seconds to switch between modes. For HID mode, which is like D input, Android, Xbox mode, I think that's X input mode, M virtual touch, Android modes. So it looks like you got some software you may be compatible with. And PS mode for iOS. Interesting. Actually, you know what? I think that PS mode might be good for Call of Duty Mobile. You know, I've seen a lot of controllers be able to work with Call of Duty Mobile by taking the PlayStation 4 DualShock drivers and making it seem as a PlayStation 4 controller. I wouldn't be surprised if this controller had done the same thing, because honestly, it doesn't make any sense why Call of Duty Mobile doesn't support controllers, or all controllers for that matter. Looks like the USB-C port is, yep, it wiggles. This is actually good because you're less likely to damage your USB-C port. And I'll say by stretching it out, it looks like it can fit about 7 inches. So it looks like it can fit most Android phones, maybe a very, very small, few small tablets. But yeah, this actually looks pretty cool. So I guess without further ado, I guess I'll plug my phone up to it. We can start recording it. If it does support X input, I'll be able to do a input latency test and a joystick accuracy test on this controller, and let's just figure out all the features of this thing. Without further ado, let's move on with this video. Hey guys, how's it going? So here we are in
gamepad tester. As you see, I have the controller hooked up to my PC with this weird cable, and it's in X input mode currently. So as you see, the controller is actually responding very well, and just like a standard control X input controller. But we are here right now to do a joystick accuracy test. So without further ado, let's test the joystick accuracy. All right, go around slowly, and let's see what I get. 2.8. Can I knock this up? Can I knock this any higher? Looks like I cannot knock this any higher. So yeah, looking at the joysticks of this controller, 2.8 for Hall effect joysticks for a mobile controller, that's actually really good. And the fact that it's like the circle is like extremely even is a good sign that they actually calibrate the joysticks on this controller. All right guys, now let's do an input latency test and see how it passes that test. All right guys, so here we are in X input tester. So we're going to test the input latency of this controller with 1000 input sample rate. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right, looking at this, I see a lot of 3s, a lot of 4 milliseconds. That should not look pretty bad. Okay, so we got our results right here. So it looks like it averages at 4.99 input latency with a polling rate of average polling rate of 200. Looking at these numbers, the numbers actually look not as tight as I want them to be, but they're tight enough to where they shouldn't cause any issue, especially for mobile gaming. Honestly, this is actually really good input latency for a wire connection. So, but without further ado, we're actually going to test the wireless connection for this controller. So yes, this controller does support Bluetooth, and I'm really curious about what the input latency is going to be with a Bluetooth setting. So without further ado, let's set that up. All right guys, so here I am back with the controller. Now I have the controller actually hooked up to my PC via Bluetooth mode, and the way you could tell that's in Bluetooth mode, I know it's a little bit hard to see with my webcam, but these LED right here should be coming up as purple, but it looks a little whitish on my camera. Not much I could do about it, but without further ado, let's do an input latency test using Bluetooth connection. This is disgusting. Holy crap. Oh my god. 14s and 29s. Dang, like this is even worse than Bluetooth 4.0. Like, dang, that is bad. All right, here we go. We have an average input latency of 20.76692 milliseconds, polling rate of 48. Got like a couple of outliers. 71 out of 1000s were considered outliers, and that looks around 70 milliseconds. Going up this chart, these numbers are extremely high for a Bluetooth latency. I don't care what you have hooked up near you, Bluetooth shouldn't be this bad. Now, for that being said, the only reason why you probably will use Bluetooth mode on this controller is to play Call of Duty Mobile, because as you guys know, with a wire connection, Xbox controllers you only can use Xbox controllers, PlayStation controllers, and the backbone controller. And somehow companies have found a way to get around it, where they add a Bluetooth feature for their controllers. That way they will work with Call of Duty Mobile. With that being said though, these numbers are disgusting. Like, you will definitely experience a lot of input latency while playing Call of Duty Mobile, especially if you're on the competitive side. You will definitely not like this. Me personally, I don't think that you probably should just play Call of Duty Mobile. I would rather for you to play Combat Master, but that's just me personally. They support all controllers, and yeah, they don't have that stupid thing where if you don't have a backbone or Xbox or PlayStation controller, you can't use a controller in the game. Yeah, with that being said, yeah, these numbers, this Bluetooth feature, a crazy high input latency. Definitely don't recommend it. Well, let's get into the other features of this controller. Alright guys, so here we are. The first thing I want to show you guys how to do with this controller is to switch the input mode for this controller. So you want to actually hold this FN button right here and the turbo mode button right here. You want to hold that for 2 seconds. Right now the white LED will indicate that it's in X input mode. So holding it again, you'll notice that my light switches to blue. Blue LED is supposed to be like this little touchscreen mode, which I'm not sure how that works. I'm pretty sure there's like an app that probably works with it, but I don't really use the blue mode as much. And if you hold it again, you actually would go from this touchscreen input mode to green mode. So green mode is technically supposed to be used for Apple, which actually is a PlayStation mode right here. So Right now, for some reason, the controller is still being seen as a just a regular input controller, as a regular PlayStation controller, but this is really meant for iOS mode. If you actually hold it one more time, the LED should switch over to yellow, and yellow will be your D input, or what a lot of people call HID mode. So this is the HID mode. As you see, the controller is detected as an HID controller, and if I hold it one more time, this yellow LED will switch over to white, and it will be seen as a regular X input controller again. And if you want to know how the Bluetooth settings work, what you want to do is actually hold the FN button plus this start button right here. This will actually switch the LED to purple, and that's how you activate the Bluetooth mode for this controller. Now, this controller does not have its own power source, so you're going to have to constantly leave this plugged into either your phone, the computer, or whatever. But also just remember that the input latency for Bluetooth mode is like abysmal. And I only recommend Bluetooth mode for Call of Duty Mobile, but then again, just play Combat Master. It's a more faster paced FPS shooter for your phone. Runs better, and honestly, it can work in X input mode with this controller. So that's why I always recommend to like keep your controller in X input mode. If you're playing on your phone, if you're playing on an Android phone, of course, if you're on an iOS phone, keep it on PlayStation mode to make sure that it has that best compatibility. With that being said, that's all of the input features for this controller. All right, guys, another thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is how to set up the 2 programmable back buttons on this controller. As you see, I have 2 programmable back buttons right here. They're already pre-programmed, but I'm still going to program them anyway just to show you how to do it. So what you want to do is hold this FN button and one of the back buttons for like 2 seconds. As soon as you see this yellow turns pink, which I know is a little bit hard because of my camera lighting to see the pink LED, you could just like push a button, then you want to push the back button again, and there you go. The back button is programmed. Also, you can program the back buttons with macros as well. So it's the same process where you hold the FN button plus the desired back button for 2 seconds. Once this LED turns pink over here, you could just press a bunch of inputs. Then you push the back button to complete it. And there you go. Now, as you see, I now got macros set up for this back button right here. And that is how you program the programmable back buttons for this controller. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you how to set up turbo mode for this controller right here. So to set up turbo mode, what you want to do is actually hold the turbo mode button right here and press a corresponding button that you want turbo mode to be activated for. So for us, it's going to be A. And once you have it, wait, controller disconnected. Oh, my connection's a little jacked up. Yep, turbo mode went through though. So as you see right now, I actually have turbo mode set for this controller. And as you see, the turbo mode is kind of slow. So if you want to increase the speed of the turbo mode, what you want to do is actually hold the turbo mode button, and you can use the right D-pad to increase the speed of the turbo mode. For example, as you see right now, it's like really, really slow. But if I tap the right on the D-pad, it will increase the speed to make it faster, to make it even faster, and make it like super fast where, God, this is like almost like 50 inputs a second as fast as it's going. But as you see, that's how you can adjust the speed for the turbo mode for this controller. And if you want to get rid of turbo mode, that's actually really easy to do. All you gotta do is hold the button that has turbo mode currently configured to. Just hold it and just tap the turbo mode button, and it goes back to being a regular button. And that is how you configure turbo mode for this controller. Okay, so I've been using this controller for quite some time, and here are my thoughts on this controller. First off, I would like to say that I actually like the fact that this controller is very versatile with its input modes. I like the fact that this controller has like a HID D input mode, an X input mode, a PlayStation mode, and also has a Bluetooth mode that allows you to play Call of Duty Mobile directly with your controller without using any additional software. Now, it does suck that the Bluetooth mode for this controller has a really, really high input latency, but I mean, it's nice that they at least give you that option to play Call of Duty Mobile. Me personally, I would just keep my controller in like X input or HID mode, and I'll just hop on the Combat Master. Personally, Combat Master is a more faster paced FPS shooter, and it works with majority of different controllers, which is like HID mode or X input mode. Something I don't understand why Call of Duty Mobile does, but yeah, just play Combat Master. It's just better, in my personal opinion. The Hall-fed joysticks and triggers actually perform very well. I like the fact of how accurate the joysticks are, and also how accurate the trigger pulls are when it comes to the Hall-fed joysticks and triggers. The buttons, they work really nice. I also like the fact that you got 2 programmable buttons that work really good for FPS games, and also like the fact that you got the turbo mode functions that can go to an insanely high input speed with turbo mode, like to around like 30 to 40 inputs a second, which is like a complete overkill for a mobile phone. But I'm glad they give you that option. Now, using this controller with a phone case, I have to say that this controller is not phone case friendly whatsoever. So for me, for my S22, I actually got the smallest phone case you can get on the market, which is like centimeters thin, and it barely works with this EasySMX M05 controller. Now, there is ways to like get a little bit more room for you to use your phone with use this controller with your phone case. Is a lot of people, what they will do is they will either shave down the rubber sealants that's around the USB-C port, or they will just take it off completely using a razor. Both methods can work, but to just let you know that if you do either or of those methods, it is a permanent change and you can't go back to how it used to be. Now, for me personally, I kind of have the smallest phone case on the market. I barely have to work it where I have to close my controller. I have to squeeze a little bit to establish that connection. But other than that, yeah, the controller works really fine. It's just, it sucks it doesn't work with phone cases as well. Another thing I want to point out is that fact that the D-pad on this controller is like a little bit low for like this little rectangular shaped controller. So using the D-pad is actually simple and it's okay. It's good enough for me to use in most games. I will say though that the D-pad is extremely mushy, and because of the position of the D-pad, sometimes I'll do like false inputs where I meant to hold down, but then I'll hit like down left or down right just because I have to shift my hand down completely when using the D-pad. It's something that I've noticed. It's a smaller gripe, but then again, I do have bigger hands, so people with bigger hands may have an issue using a D-pad or may have to adjust their grip while using D-pad when playing games. But that was just something that I noticed that I point out, because that was issues that I was having while using this controller. Now, if I was to give this controller a rating from 1 through 10, for its original price around like 50 USD, I would say this controller is a 6 out of 10. Nowadays, because of the EasySMX M15 controller that came out around the same price, this controller always goes on sale for anywhere between 25 USD all the way up to 35 USD. And for rating this controller for 35 USD, I will definitely say that this controller is a solid 8 out of 10. It is a great budget controller option, especially for those who are into mobile gaming. Now, yes, it does suck that this controller is not phone case friendly. Yes, this controller does not have a headphone jack. It does have pass-through charging, which is good, which I don't really use anyway because my phone just going to get extremely hot while playing games while using pass-through charging. But it's real nice to say that we got up $35. You got a controller that works with X input mode, D input mode, PlayStation mode, and has a Bluetooth function that works with Call of Duty. You get all the basic functions you need for mobile gaming for around 35 USD. Yeah, I could definitely recommend this controller for any gamer that wants a game on their phone. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. If you found this video very informative, you should do me a favor and like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do have more controllers I'm working on, both on the mobile side and on the PC gaming side. So definitely like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.